Hello everyone, my name is Varixis, and yes, I am aware I am late to this particular update party. I've been focusing on my work, I am in the pipe for a promotion, and so I've been laser focused on making sure that I am the best little worker bee that I can be for my company. So I did get some time this weekend to sneak in a couple of games of depth, and so I can get this video out and tell you guys what I think of the event. Overall, I think the event is very good. I have some discussions, I guess we're going to say, for Haywire, the titular game mode, but let's go ahead and get jumped into the actual patch notes and we'll talk about the whole thing. So obviously the big thing about this is the new temporary game mode called Haywire. Haywire is actually a diver versus diver game mode where two teams of 6 divers will play a King of the Hill style match over Steve to gain gold, you know, get better weapons and keep steamrolling the other guys until the first team to capture 3 safes wins the game. I'll talk about that here in a little bit. Just say that I have I'm not as excited about it as most everybody else is. We'll go on down here to Community Treasure 2. That's right, the new batch of Community Treasure chests is out, and I'll throw up the graphic here on the screen. Of note, to me personally, is number 5 there, the Koi Thresher skin, number 11, the Shipwreck ADS, or the APS skin, sorry, and the Sundare Shark P, and the Sundare Shark P11 skin at 16 is probably the one I'm most excited about and the one I will be shooting for. Honorable mentions, I guess, would be number 8 and 20. 20 is a Sea Mine skin, and number 8 is a spear gun. And as you guys probably guessed, I do like very bright colors in my death game, and it should be no surprise there that that's the ones I like. Other than that, we've got a couple more things here. We got Community Hub Awards, which means if you follow Depth on Steam and are an active member of the community here, you are going to get rewards. It looks like a little token that has the Depth logo on it, and a SPP1 skin that also has the Depth logo on it, and that will be given to you if you follow Depth, and I highly encourage that you do and join the community. It's a pretty tight-knit little thing, and it's always fun to be part of a community. It really is. Moving on, we have the new leaderboard ranking update. And this is the one that I'm actually the most excited for because I'm kind of a leaderboard whore. I've been trying to get up and down the leaderboards, particularly the diver total score leaderboard, for a while. I broke 2,000. I am on my way up now to 1,000. I was up at 1,200. I've let that rating slip because I've been pursuing work. That's okay. With the new leaderboard update, they are adjusting the percentiles required to attain higher tier ranking in the leaderboard. They've added tiers, such as diamond, platinum, gold, silver, stuff like that. And there are 5 divisions in each tier. There is a progress bar shown on the leaderboard showing you how far it is until you reach your next division. For example, I am in Diamond 3 for diver total score, which according to the graphic on screen, I am actually doing better than Baby Cat, who's a developer. So I'm going to be pretty happy about that. Other than that, we have a handful of changes in the changelog. The highlights of the changelog are that trank rounds will now do full stamina damage if the shark has any stamina. If I'm reading that correctly, I do believe that means that no more negative stamina hits are going to be a thing. Heavy Barrel got nerfed. Heavy Barrel now reduces the size of the APS's magazine by 10. I'm a little sad, but it honestly needed it. Scopes now cut through the depth of field effect, making them more effective. I'm very interested to see how that works in particular. Last time I used scope was in the Haywire mode, and for reasons that I will talk about later, I didn't pay attention to anything. Other than that, the other major thing here is the sound of Zippy's tail whip has been reduced. That's been a major complaint among veteran players, and I'm glad to see it adjusted. 5 minutes of rambling out of the way, let's jump into how I feel about the new game mode, Haywire. Haywire, it's been a long time since we've had a new game mode come into depth, the last one being Megalodon Hunt, and that was a massive failure in terms of player retention. Now, Haywire is a much called for diver versus diver mode. 2 teams of 6 divers fighting over Steve in a very King of the Hill type match. To throw in good measure, every so often a single player on each team is chosen to be a shark, who then fights for his team and clears out all enemy resistance in its way. That's the idea. In reality, the game mode is very chaotic, and it is painfully obvious that depth is not built, at least at this moment, for a diver-on-diver scenario. And that's due to the fact that it's very difficult with the mechanics of the guns to land actual shots, especially because, not any fault of the weapons, but the fact that the diver hitbox is so terrifyingly small. The hitboxes in the divers were balanced in terms of blood and gold because sharks have great big scooping mouths that they can just grab on the run. But against other divers, it just makes it tedious to try to hit anything. The only way that you can actually kill a diver reliably is with an automatic weapon or an explosive harpoon gun. And both of those are very, very difficult to get until the very ends of the matches, whenever you're just done with the game mode because it's gone on for too long and it's just frustrating. 6 people, I think, is entirely too much. The weapons need to be readjusted, or we need to have more weapons. Something needs to happen. In its current iteration, I do not want to see this stick around as a permanent game mode, which a lot of people are calling for, as we've got a fairly popular thread on the forums calling for it to be a permanent game mode. I'm not a fan of a permanent game mode as I'm not a fan of Haywire as a permanent game mode for 2 major reasons. One, the game does not have enough of, and the game, I mean depth as a whole, does not have enough of a player base to support 2 popular game modes. And unfortunately, what's going to happen is that all the veterans are going to go to Blood and Gold. I almost guarantee it. And everyone else is going to go over to Haywire. And that's going to cause 2 things. One, anybody who's playing Blood and Gold basically already has enough interest in the game to keep playing the core game. And the veteran players are going to stay there, and so it's going to make this little bitty feedback loop where the veterans keep grinding themselves against other veterans, and they keep getting better and better and better at the game, which would necessarily not be a bad thing if it didn't mean that new players coming in and trying out that game mode are almost guaranteed to go against veterans. I've discussed that in my beginners video, which I'm going to put in a flag up here. I would love to honestly fight against more veteran players. I want to be better, and sharpening myself against people who are far better than me is the best way to do that. But Haywire would end up being like the cesspool for the people who couldn't cut it against the veterans, rather than just kind of forcing to get good. And I don't think that's good for the health of the game, especially with the player population that we have. Secondly, I just do not care for the game in this particular iteration. I've played 2 games of Haywire without knowing much about what it is. In each game, I ended up coming out as the one of the top 3 players on either team. And in 3 games, I've earned 3 of the prizes without a supporter pack. And it was so chaotic, it was so frustrating. The game lasted for entirely too long, I think. And a big portion of that, it just comes down to it's difficult to kill anybody. The only time you can really kill somebody is when you jump them and you can see them coming. Or you do like a lot of people I saw and just camp corners with an explosive harpoon gun. That was the end of a full match, was just everyone picked a corner and shot at anything that moved with an explosive harpoon gun. And it would come in and eventually would flush everybody out, and then everyone would sit in a corner with their explosive harpoon gun and do the same thing until they got flushed out, and over and over and over again, and nobody was actually capping Steve. And Steve doesn't make any progress unless he's being captured by one team or another. The capture rate is extremely slow for how slow Steve moves, and Steve either barely gets any sort of progress, or he flies through his progress bar, and I'm not entirely sure what the cause of that is. Right now, Haywire is inconsistent, and it is far too chaotic, and it is far too tedious for far too long with far too many people, and the mechanics of the game do not bode well for it. It was a good shot. I would not be angry at all to see this come back as like an event between events, as it were. That I would be perfectly okay with. I'm okay with you guys with Digital Confectioners bringing back Haywire as a temporary mode on a cycle. That's okay. I think that's okay. The player base can handle it at that point. But I don't think it should be a permanent game mode at all, at least not in its current state at all. I've rambled a little bit about Haywire. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy to see a new game mode come out. I think it was definitely a step in the right direction, and I would encourage Digital Confectioners, if you're watching this, to continue to work on new game modes, and even continue to tweak Haywire, because I think it could be a great game. It's just not the way it is right now. Other than that, this was an absolutely great update. We got a lot of new little quality of life changes, the community outreach pack. I was very happy to see the update. So I've been rambling on for a little over 12 minutes now. I am probably going to go play more Blood and Gold, because I have no intention on playing Haywire at all until it's changed in some way. So, thanks for listening to me ramble for some time. My name is Verixis once again, and hopefully I'm not going to be as late to the party as I was this time. So, I will catch you guys next time. Bye-bye. Hey guys, Verixis here with a post-edit update. Whenever I sat down to do the commentary for this video, I wanted to state something, but I couldn't quite articulate what it was well enough, so I scrapped it. But when I sat down to actually stitch together the video that you see in the background of this, it hit me in the face like a frying pan, and I feel like I had to say something about it. The amount of time you spend dead in Haywire is absolutely ridiculous. The raw footage of the video behind this entire thing is 15 minutes long. Once you remove all the parts where I'm dead, and you only have the points where I'm playing the game, it goes down to almost 10.5 minutes. I spent almost a full third of the match not playing the game. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm okay with Haywire being a temporary part of the game, even a cyclical part of the game, but in its current state, I would not want to see it as a permanent addition to depth. I just wanted to get that out there because it was an important point, I thought, and I just wanted to make sure that it was said. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.